What's going on, good people? So let me just preface this by saying that I'm making this video today, February 1st, 2022, of what is supposed to be so-called Black History Month, which I put absolutely no credence into. Okay, first of all, it's the shortest month of the year. If you really wanted to give Black people a history month, it should be one that has at least 31 days. At least could have been July, August, sometime in the summer. After all, we are the people of the sun. So giving us the month, one of the coldest months in the year, doesn't really work for me. Anyhow, I think this whole Black History Month, people are looking at it the wrong way. People are looking at past achievements of people like MLK, Malcolm X, and it's like they're just reminiscent and we're not moving forward at all, right? I think there's too much going on right now for people to have so-called, pride in themselves. There's a lot of issues that I think that need to be addressed. And I don't know what this spot is that I'm seeing, but I don't know what that is. I don't know if you see this spot right here. I don't know what that is. I wasn't there before. Hopefully that's just my screen and it's gonna go away. What the hell is that? See a black spot right? Okay, no. Can't see. Wait, this probably is the camera. Is it dirty? I don't know what that is. I'll try to figure it out after. But anyways, we got work to do, right? The streets are crazy. There's too much going on. Big cities. People out of control. Your sons, your Pookies, your Ray Rays, your Jose's and your Giuseppes. They're out here just running buck wild. All right, and I think this month needs to be more about accountability and responsibility, right? People need to start calling parents out. There's too many teens running wild in the streets with guns. They should be at home, not out here in the streets killing people. And I think especially the modern women have not taken accountability. Everybody's too busy having hot girl summer. Oh, I can do bad all by myself. Well, since you have said that, now these are the receipts, right? These are the receipts because people all over the cities are having issues, and these are your kids out here doing these things, right? Let me just play a little bit of this so you can see how bad things are.
What's going on in New York City? I hope New York City gets better.
Violent crime has been rising over the past 2 years, with crazed, unstable people in the subways and fearless teenagers with guns.
Fearless
Shootings that once
teenagers
took
with guns.
place
Look
in
at this.
back alleys now happen on crowded
In the
streets in
streets
the middle of the
with
afternoon.
these kids.
Gang members blasting at one another, with bystanders caught in the crossfire.
They don't care.
Among the latest victims, an infant struck in the face with a stray bullet. Police officers are being shot, and unsuspecting subway riders are being attacked at random.
I think that's enough. Right? So I made a live 2 weeks ago. I think it was on MLK Day, right? Saying how these modern gangsters, so-called gangsters, I don't recognize them at all, right? Since then, we have 2 cops shot dead. We have this little girl shot in the face while she was in a car, I believe, of her mother. That happened in the Bronx. We have another guy that was at the hospital in an emergency room, shot while he was in the emergency room. It is out of hand, and I think it all stems from the home. If you ask me honestly, it does. Because listen, your kids can have bad influences. True enough. You'll be affected by things from outside, the people that you hang out with, things like that. You know who you go to school with, who's in your neighborhood. But if you raise your child a certain way, right? if you raise them a certain way to have some morals, you know, standings, you know, things that are a way of life, so to speak, inevitably, that's the foundation for how they live the rest of their lives. All right. Because I know when you're young, you think you know everything. You know, you're a knucklehead. You do stupid things. You know, you hang with your friends. They're doing stupid things. You don't want to be left out. You join in. It's peer pressure. It's all these things. I get that. I've been there, done that. That's all good and well. But you have to know that there are lines that you don't cross, right? There's lines that you don't cross. You don't shoot where other people are involved. You don't get into beef and try to settle it in, you know, the middle of a crowd. You know, there's really simple things. But you're part of some gang or something, you have an issue with another person, you don't go to that person's house and shoot up that person's house where they have other people, where they have children. You know, these people have no morals, they have no ethics, and this is the situation that we're in. And I don't know about the white community. I don't know about the Asian community because these are not the people in the news, right? These are not the people that's making the news. It's not whites, Asians, and Indians out here doing all this crazy shit. It's blacks and Hispanics also, right? Especially in cities like New York, right? This is New York that I was talking about. There's all these boys in gangs. There's all these boys with guns. There's all these young boys who should be in their mother's house. These same mothers that say they could do bad all by themselves. These are the receipts. These is your sons out here killing each other, shooting innocent people, getting caught up in this mess, right? Right now, you have these young girls on TikTok and InstaThought, you know, just out there selling their bodies, you know, having guys in their DMs dealing with multiple men. It's chaos, it's madness. And it needs to stop. Somebody needs to say something about it. People need to address it. And that comes from the home. You can't expect the school to do it for you. You can't expect the government to do it for you. You have to do it for you. And that's about it. If you have no morals, you have no standards, of course, your children are going to be an embarrassment to you and to the community. But then you go, oh, that's my son. He wouldn't do that. He's not like that. Listen, if a child does not have his father in his life, more than likely, right, he's going to get involved in gang activity. Why? Because there's camaraderie, and that's what you want as a teen, right? You don't want to be not. Most teens, they don't want to be loners. They want to be part of a group. That group just might tend to be involved in criminal activity or drug activity or something else that that child should not be a part of, right? But it happens. It happens to the best of us. Even, you know, like myself, you know, I've been down that road. I've been with, you know, the bad eggs, with hanging with people that I know that did B&Es and, you know, robberies and stuff like that. Of course, I am not going to get involved with it. I'm not going to go and partake in with them. But these are people that I know, and these are stories that I hear them tell, you know, and this is as a teenager. You know, I'm like 14, 15, hearing guys, and, you know, some of them actually my age talking about how they went and do this job with these older cats and, you know, breaking and entering, stealing this, stealing that, doing hotels, you know, getting people for their watches, all kinds of stuff like that. So it happens. You know, there might be some bad eggs in the crowd that your child run with, but depending on how you raise that child, they know it's like They know not to get in that car, right? The car is filled with these guys about to go do this job, and your child is getting the offer. You raise your child right. They know not to get in that car and go down that road, right? Now you can say what you want about education, especially the educational system in America. It's, pretty much in the toilet, right? Because you learn more from just researching on your own than you can learn in school, right? How do you do your taxes, things about the world, and just about where you came from, right? Because they talk about Black history, everything people want to talk about is like slavery and all these slave ass movies. Like nobody don't want to hear about that. That you telling us about when we came here. No, what happened before we came here? And I'm talking about we as a people, whether it's America, the West Indies, places that we got scattered to during this whole slavery, BS. Obviously we came from somewhere where we had civilizations because people have talked about it already. It's not part of mainstream education, obviously, but that's the real, right? So true, well, yeah, you probably came from kings and queens, but the way you're acting out here right now is not indicative of that. So on this first day of so-called Black History Month, I would say accountability and responsibility, right? For yourself, your children, your family, your close friends. You see a close friend of yours out there doing some shit, portraying an image that they should not. You have to call them out. And I know people don't like being called out on social media and stuff like that, but it needs to happen. Let's just be honest, right? They need to be called out for the bullshit. It needs to happen. You don't call them out and then what? You just allow it to keep on going on, right? If you don't say anything, that means you are complicit. So you have to say something. If you don't say anything, you're complicit. So you have to say something, right? The old school phrase, you gotta pull their coattails. You gotta pull their coat and be like, listen, you're doing this. Example is your sister, she has kids, she's outside, rolling blunts, drinking Hennessy with the guys from the projects. No, you shouldn't be out here doing that. So you're supposed to be upstairs with your kids. They come from school, do something with them, engage with them, have game nights or whatever. They come in, play some board games, play some video games with them, do something that will keep them off the streets. And even as they get older, because believe it or not, even in my teens and up to late teens, I like playing video games. My parents never played with me, but they would allow me to have friends to come over that played video games with me. Now I know now it's people say COVID, blah blah, but that's not really an excuse because people are still going out, still hanging out, um, going partying and all this other stuff. So that's not really an excuse. You can, if you don't want friends coming over, you could be the one to be at home with your kids doing something. There's a million games y'all could play. Y'all could play Battleship, chess, checkers, cards, right? There's all these board games like Clue, you know. What's the other one? I bought this game for my kids. What's it called? Home Alone, right? There's a Home Alone board game, right? If you want this, you see this to actually matter, you have to make the difference. You have to make the difference and you have to make it starting at your own home with your own kids, right? Your daughter shouldn't be having OnlyFans page, and you as a mom shouldn't be having no damn OnlyFans page. Nah. So you can't be doing it. Can't be both. You can't be kings and queens and you out here acting like garbage. Bottom feeders out here killing each other. Like no, they don't go together. So again, I would say for this month, you do it as a test period starting today. A day to wipe the slate clean, start over. You know, a day to start holding people accountable within your circle. That's all. That's the only place you need to start. Start within your circle with your people as closest to you. Accountability and responsibility. Just two things. And see if you can make a difference. That is my humble opinion and my humble advice. You saw the video. There's no reason this 11-month-old kid should get shot in the face from some irresponsible piece of garbage running the street shooting at somebody. I mean, how would you feel if that was your family member that had been shot like that? You know, when I saw this, man, it hurt. She's alive, but just to know 11-month-old baby girl got a bullet in her face, that's a tragedy. There's nothing else but a tragedy. I hope you liked the video. You know, been busy working on some customs on some shoes, so I haven't had time to. There's so much to talk about, but you know, painting keeps me busy, so I had to make this video today. I was like, you know, I gotta start the month by doing it. Like I said, you don't speak up, then you're complicit. So that's why I made it. You know, if you like it, you know, leave a comment, like, you know, subscribe, share it with somebody. You know, other people might not have the stones to speak up, but I do. All right. Till next time. Peace.